This is episode number 11. Can you believe it? We are in the 5th month of the year. Coach Phill here, Momentum series. Back here saying, how are you doing? How is the year coming up for you? I hope you're doing what you have to do. I hope you're pushing. Today, I want to talk to you about something very, very, very important. In fact, without this one, the year is not going to be as great as it should be. And this is courage. How to develop courage to succeed in 2017. You know, it takes courage to live a good life. It takes courage to live the life that you deserve to live. You know, it is the courageous people that have been able to make things happen. It is the courageous people that have been able to surmount big challenges and create the life, for their families, for the people they love, because it is much more important to be courageous than it is to be a coward. I mean, think about it. If you continue to be a coward, if you continue not to do what you ought to do, if you continue to live a life of mediocrity, what is that going to do for you? What is that going to do for your children? What is that going to do for the people that you love? So this week, it's a little bit in your face, but it's important. Why? Courage is what is going to make the difference. And number one, you must take a reality check, okay? I was, last couple of days, been interesting. I'm in the 5 a.m. club. I get up and work out every day in the morning. I get up and do what I have to do. I do my journaling, and I caught myself kind of not putting in 110%. And I was thinking, you know what? Nobody's asking after all, you know? And I stopped myself very quickly because I was like, hey, whose life is it? Okay? And then another episode came up. I was working out. I was doing a T25. And then about the 20th minute, I was slacking off a little bit. And again, I caught myself saying, hey, if you don't work, if you don't put in the work, who is going to not benefit? Which brings me to the first point. You must have a reality check in your life. You must say, hey, am I taking responsibility? To develop courage, you must take that reality check in the first and say, hey, am I taking responsibility for my life? Am I doing what I ought to do? By the way, doing that also takes courage. For you to be totally honest with yourself and say, okay, how am I really showing up? Okay? You got to be courageous to ask that question. Okay? So number one, take a reality check and ask yourself, hey, am I in control of what I'm doing? Am I courageous enough to say, you know what? I am going to do what it takes, because right now I am not doing my best. Why? Because I am living a life dependent on other people's opinions. I'm living a life dependent on other people's expectations. I am living a life following rules which I don't even know if they make sense anymore, but I'm just towing the line. I have a job because everybody must have a job. I married this person because at that age I had to get married. I am asking you to say, hey, take a reality check and say, if I continue like this, does that give me my ultimate life? Does that give me the courage? Does that give me the life that I'm looking for? If it is in business, I want you to take a reality check and say, hey, the way that I'm going right now, is that going to get me to my vision? Is that going to get me to where I need to get? Okay? You got to get real. You got to get real. This is 2017. You got to be saying, hey, what would my life be if I stopped to conform? What would my life be if I gave up all this nonsense of my fears, if I gave up pleasing other people, if I gave up, working because other people wanted me to? What would your life be if you had the courage to say no, if you had the courage to say yes, if you had the courage to love deeper, if you had the courage to be your own self? I want you this year to say, I'm taking a reality check because I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to do whatever it takes. So, number one, reality check. Number two, get real. Do whatever it takes. Do what you have to do. Number three, I want you to take a real unapologetic charge of your environment, of the people you hang out with. There is the saying, your network is your net worth. It goes beyond that. I want you to take charge courageously and say, you know what? There are certain friends I don't need in my life anymore. There are certain people I need to let go because it is important. There are certain, things I can't do anymore. I had somebody ask me, hey, you don't hang out that much. Yes, because I don't want to waste time hanging out with people who just bring me down and don't support my mission in life, okay? I am courageous enough to say, boom, I ain't going to go down that road. And I am asking you to do the same thing. Be unapologetic about it, because guess what? If you're on a mission and you're unapologetic on that mission, you will end up where you ought to be, thereby helping a lot more people because you lived at your best, okay? Take unapologetic control of your environment, okay? Number 3, turn off all external negative input. What do I mean? Start with turning off the television. Start with turning off the news. Start with turning off the people who do not add anything to you. You know, there's a guy who usually calls me, well, doesn't call me anymore. And every time, by the end of the conversation, he has had like 50, if it is a 5-minute conversation, no, actually, I never have that kind of conversation. 3-minute conversation, in the 3 minutes, he has 4 negative things to talk about, okay? I have since cut them off. I had another, it was a little bit of shame, but I had another lady at the time, and she came to see me, and then she was saying, oh, it looks like you blocked my number. Damn straight I blocked the number. Why? Because there's a lot of negative stuff coming through. Why? If I don't take charge of that, then how am I going to be in the state that gives me the ability to go to where I need to go? Okay? So take charge of your internal, because remember, all the internal stuff all the stuff that is coming in and is negative, it affects the way you perform. It affects the way you show up. You're a businessman, but you're busy putting in negative information. You're always focusing on what could go wrong. No, find a way to, you say, you know what, I'm courageous enough to take charge of that mind, and then feed it with the right stuff. Feed it with the right information, with the right role modeling, with the right tools, so that you can go on to live the life that you desire. Remember, to live a great life, you gotta be courageous. And I'm asking you, 2017, you gotta be more courageous. Let's go. The next one, I want you to get in the fight. You know, it is that thing of face the fear and do it anyway. You know, if you don't get in the fight and get hit, either way you're gonna get hit. You know, if you're standing on the sidelines and waiting to see what happens, one day the train is gonna come and hit you. Okay, just get in the fight. Learn to fight. You know, either way, when you fail, you're gonna get up and you're gonna make sure you never fail again. When you laugh and you're heartbroken, guess what? Next time you're gonna find better way of laughing. You're gonna find the right person. You're gonna attract the right person. Okay, so I'm saying, think about it. Forget about being cautious and this nonsense of I am a perfectionist. That is the biggest excuse for not taking action, okay? Get in the fight. Do something that scares you. Do something that, you haven't, you thought it would, whatever, kill you. There's not many people who have died because they took some courageous decisions. So I'm challenging you this week. I'm saying, come on, let's do something great. Challenge yourself and get up. Go for that business meeting. Do whatever it takes. Cut out that relationship. Be who you really can be and say your mind, and you'll be surprised. And then finally, deliberately and unapologetically focus on what you want every freaking day. Why? Where your focus goes, your energy goes. Where your energy goes, you get some results. Now, if you're focusing on the wrong thing, with the wrong negative stuff coming in, of course you're putting energy in that. That is why you'll find that most of the negative stuff is coming back. Why? You're focusing on this stuff. Okay, I'm saying turn it around and say, I am deliberately focusing on what I want. I'm putting my energy, my focus, everything in there. And before you know it, stuff will start to come back, which is what you're looking for. Because where energy goes, you get results. Where you get results, you begin to live the life that you deserve. So, again, you got to learn to be courageous. This week, step up your game, okay? If you've been a little bit of falling behind and thinking, oh damn, it's not going great, I'm saying, come on, step up. It's time to get up. It's time to do what we ought to do, because 2017 is the epic year that we have to do what we have to, okay? So until next time, live strong, live with passion, and have the audacity to live life on your terms. Thank you.